Now, Will, just because they're a different color, that doesn't mean you could take away their right to vote when they already have it. All right. Now, I get that you're upset, but we got to work on that.
To breathe.
Right? You got to get over it, Will. Now, Sarah was telling us about beating up kids.
Just the obnoxious
out.
You got to remember when we were younger getting yelled at by old people. Like, now you're an adult, and as an old person, it's just fun to yell at kids. Like, damn, I get it.
I had an elderly man, a group of kids like tried to jump me at my house, and the elderly man came out with a gun. And it was my fault that these kids tried to beat up my friend's car in the front of the house.
Yeah.
In his hand. He had actually a handgun in his hand ready to freaking like, I'm like, what are you going to do with that? He's like, it's all your fault.
What?
But
How dare you, Sarah?
Beat him up.
And the hat was all your fault.
Mm. Just the obnoxious kids these days.
I just remember being kids, getting yelled at, and now you realize how much fun it is.
Yeah. They were just antagonizing them. Like, the more you give them, the more ammo they got, and they're going to just keep firing back at you.
And they will use it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, my daughter's relentless at that age, but she wouldn't curse me out like the way these kids were.
Kids these days are a different breed.
Yeah, definitely is.
You're lucky they didn't start like a karate showdown in your store.
I know. Yeah, no, I was a little bit nervous leaving work in the middle of the night. I'm like, hopefully it's past their bedtime or something, because I didn't want to be standing in the parking lot where 20 kids were there. I can only hold off so much, and they're all boys. Even though they're only like 13, 14 years old, but I did not want to be around a gang of them. They were jumping on the trailers in the parking lot too.
Damn.
Trailers that we sell.
Crazy. Why didn't anyone call the police or something?
Nobody called the police because kids are allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Adults can't do anything.
You don't even know where they live, you know? They don't even carry ID with them or nothing, so...
They should.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, there's some kind of form, but no.
It makes it that much harder to ID them in the woods.
Yeah.
Bodies.
I don't think you can say you're going to murder kids.
Hey, look! I was at.
I don't know what the rules are, but I think that's against them.
It's just bad.
I think if you're gonna murder kids, you have to work for like a big Hollywood studio or the government or something like that. I don't think you can just do it for fun.
No.
I'm out of live my life.
And you know darn well, if I wanted like even push the kid because they got in my face cursing at me, I would have been arrested.
Yeah. It seems to be a pattern on several episodes of Sarah just wanting to kill and murder kids. This is not the first time she's brought this up.
I've been a mom for way too long.
Yeah, you can't kill your own kids, so you gotta murder someone else. You don't want to go and Casey Anthony anybody. You know, you gotta kill somebody else's kids.
Hey, she doesn't use that name anymore.
Yeah, I think the only place she would be accepted is Florida, so it makes sense she's down there with you, Will.
No, I don't think she's in Florida anymore.
Well, that's where she was hiding when it all happened.
I mean, last I heard, she got moved up to Texas.
Well, but she definitely shouldn't go there. They kill anybody there, though. They'll even kill you if you're special in Texas. They don't care.
Mike said that she moved back to Orlando.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got a new name recently, didn't you, Will?
Yeah. Down there, they don't care what you do. It's just, look, she got away with it. I mean,
yeah.
Speaking of kids getting away with things they shouldn't and unruly gangs, they're starting Cobra Kai season 4 production.
Oh yeah.
Cobra Kai, have you seen the show?
Oh, I love Cobra Kai. Binge watch it.
I don't care for it.
You don't?
Oh my God, you're like the only one.
I thought Will for sure would be loving Miguel and Carmen and the grandma.
What are your issues about Cobra Kai?
He just doesn't enjoy anything fun.
You know, I didn't know I was going to be into the show when I first started watching it, but after I watched the first episode, I was like, I need to watch the rest of the show today.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
And I wasn't like, I mean, I watched the Karate Kids and everything when I was growing up, but I wasn't like huge into it, but I had to see them. I got into them a little bit, but not to the full extreme. But now I'm watching Cobra Kai and I'm like, I have to watch it because I love what they do going back and forth and stuff between the old ones and the new ones.
Even that last scene in season 3 with the Phil Collins and
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. They set it up from the beginning of what they were going to do, and well, they started season 4 production. Because episode 1 is called "Let's Begin" of season 4, so I'm guessing it's going to deal with them training their students together now.
I think that's what I thought.
Looks like they're going to team up to try to take it down, Carisi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. I know Emily will be watching it. Sarah, sounds like you'll be watching it.
Oh, definitely.
Season 4 hopefully comes out next year, as long as this virus doesn't get worse. Will won't be watching it, I'm guessing, right, Will?
No, I mean, eventually I'll give it a try. I just don't care for the Karate Kid.
Have you watched it at all?
Huh?
Have you watched it at all yet?
No, I mean, I was a fan of the Karate Kid movies, but it was because of Mr. Miyagi. But
yeah, but they actually do a lot of back and forth scenes with doing the old Karate Kid, like all of them.
No, I figured
they flash back and stuff.
I think it's also good to see it from Johnny's perspective.
Very well.
Yeah,
and they always bring up Mr. Miyagi all the time. Like they even show old clips of him.
See it from the other side, though. Johnny had his girlfriend. He had school. His new kid comes in, takes his girlfriend, fights him, does all this stuff.
You don't even know who to like hate in that one. You don't know who's the bad guy really because they both make valid points. So.
And then you see, what Johnny was going through at his life at home, and you tend to realize maybe he wasn't just an a-hole for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I'll give it a try.
Pretty good. I recommend it. I'd watch it. I know it's not anime, but it kind of counts, right? There's karate.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Well, speaking of sequels, other upcoming projects, we just got the bump up on the release date for A Quiet Place Part 2. It's supposed to come out in September. They moved it all the way up to May. Excited. Oh, yeah. They moved it up to May because, from what I read, it's because the Tom and Jerry movie did so good in theaters from what it has been that they are moving movies up now. Like, I think Peter Rabbit 2 just got moved up to May as well, actually.
Which one was Quiet Place? Was that the one with the 2 girls in the house?
That's the one with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. And you have to be silent because there's the monsters that hunt by sound and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Baby.
Trying to remember if I even saw it, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it.
Oh, you definitely should check it out. They moved up the new one all the way to May. It's coming out Memorial Day weekend now. And 45 days later, it will be on Paramount Plus, it says. Emily, did you see the original Quiet Place? Did you like it?
I did see the original one. I would definitely want to rewatch it before I watch the sequel, but from what I remember, it was really good, and I would definitely be interested in the sequel.
Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to it. I recommend watching it, the first one, definitely the second one. I'm interested to see, without spoiling anything, how this one can happen with the second one now. Will, did you see the first one? Did you like it?
What? Inside Out? Oh, not Inside Out. I don't know why I was looking at Inside Out. Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I really did. I saw it like 8 times in the theater.
What do you think? You think
saw it in IMAX.
You gonna see the new one when it comes out, Will?
The what?
Are you gonna watch the new one when it comes out?
Of course I am.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think the first one was excellent. I think it caught everybody's surprise. It wasn't what I expected. And it looks good. Second one looks good. Looking forward to it. Our last news story is kind of not in the realm of horror or movies even necessarily. I guess it kind of intertwines. We've been talking about Candyman a lot in the show. We talked about the new one coming out. We talked about the original. We're getting to these sequels one of these days. But in a real-life twist of events here, a woman took her bathroom mirror down because she felt the draft and walked right into an entire vacant apartment.
How is that possible? I want to know how that is even possible.
And then the door wasn't even locked, and there was like a drink in there, like a recent drink. It's a new label, so it wasn't like an old drink that's been there for a long time. That means people have been in there and can just come into her apartment. It's definitely happened before. It happened in the real life Cabrini Greens in the 90s. The guy climbed through the mirror and murdered Ruthie Mae McCoy. That's got to be fucking terrifying. Emily? Can you imagine that?
But wasn't that in like another apartment that was actually known about? Like this one is an apartment that was not even known.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. I don't know how you can just have an apartment that nobody knows about next door.
And it seems like somebody's been in there.
I didn't even watch the video of it. I just saw the story.
She walks around in the apartment and finds like a water bottle. Doors are unlocked and open and stuff, and it looks like somebody had been in there recently.
That's weird.
That is ridiculously creepy.
Will, how do you feel? Would that freak you the heck out?
Hell yeah, I'd leave the house, come back with a freaking shotgun, and just post up.
Emily, how do you feel about that? What if you like found an entire apartment behind your mirror, and somebody could just get into your house at any time?
If I found that, I'd call the landlord immediately and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, what if it was the landlord?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Secret apartment that he can spy on all his tenants in.
This is in New York City, so she's paying a ton of money for this apartment too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And she probably has a scumbag landlord.
Yeah. I know this is not the kind of news stories we usually cover, but I thought with the Candyman intertwined, it had Candyman trending on all over the internet for a couple of days. There's still articles being uploaded every day about this. The girl's been all over news sites and TMZ and everywhere. Well, Candyman trending, at least maybe they'll shoot some interest in the movies again, and we'll get this new one to come out finally.
Yeah, maybe.
I keep dragging their feet with it. Well, that was all the news stories I had for this week. This is the Taking You Back podcast. We kind of jumped right in. I'm your host, Headrush. Sarah's with me. Will, Emily, thank you guys for joining.
Anytime.
You can find us on social media at Midnight Evil Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on Google, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, TuneIn, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you find or steal your favorite podcasts. We're there. That was all the news stories I had. But we're going to talk about one of the my favorite movie of all time. That reassured myself when we watched it again. Sometimes I bounce back and forth between this one and Almost Famous, but watching this one again, this is my favorite movie of all time. This is without a doubt. So we're going to talk about American Beauty today. It was a staff pick. It was my pick. Headrush picked it. American Beauty, released September 17th, 1999. Distributed by DreamWorks. Production company was Jinx Cohen Company. It had a $15 million budget and made $356.3 million.
Wow.
That is a hell of a box office. Especially for like a drama, like romance kind of movie. That's whew. They made their budget back like 30 times over.
Well, yeah, I'm just glad it didn't lead to anything like a sequel.
They couldn't make a sequel to this. There's no way. This is one of those movies that definitely doesn't need a sequel.
Unless you just did it with the daughter and the boyfriend, then that would be it. But yeah.
Well,
then they would have had to give us that alternate ending.
Yeah.
And then they could have done a sequel based on that. But we really didn't need a sequel.
No. No, you pretty much, I mean...
We'll jump into that ending. It was directed by Sam Mendes, who would go on to direct Road to Perdition, Jarhead, Skyfall, Spectre, and 1917, I think, most recently. The screenplay was Alan Ball, which he is the creator, writer, and executive producer of 6 Feet Under and True Blood for HBO.
6 Feet Under is good.
Yeah, he created, wrote, and executive produced both of those shows.
True Blood but 6 Feet Under.
Well, he was the showrunner for the first 5 seasons of True Blood. After that, somebody else took over. So.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Don't say anything about True Blood because I'm in the middle of the show right now. So
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it makes sense.
We're on season 5 now, so this is the last Alan Ball season we're on right now.
Okay.
I've seen it, but Emily hasn't seen it before. We were watching it. We just got to the point where Christopher Maloney showed up and they killed him off like instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part we're up to. So she
I still understand why he left Law and Order to do that show for like 2 episodes or whatever it was.
Well, he's coming back to Law and Order now.
Yeah, I know he's coming back 12 years later?
Him and Dylan McDermott, I think, are going to be the 2 partners on Organized Crime.
I don't know. I'm so excited that he's coming back.
Yeah, I think the first episode is like a 2-hour crossover with SVU, they said.
Yeah.
The movie stars Kevin Spacey, everybody's favorite lovable dad. Annette Bening, Thora Birch, Allison Janney, Mia Savare, Wes Bentley, and Chris Cooper. I know they said Chris Cooper originally didn't want to do the movie, like it depressed the hell out of him. The Ricky's dad.
Yeah.
The army guy.
Oh, well, I can see why.
And I think he wasn't alone. I think, like, originally, Angela was supposed to be, what's that girl's name? Sarah Michelle Gellar was supposed to be Angela at one point.
Really?
Yeah. And then somebody else. Who do you remember? I was telling you about it. I forget. I think Jessica Biel was going to be at one point. But because of Seventh Heaven, she couldn't do it. And then what's the girl from Spider-Man? Kirsten Dunst. She was going to be Angela, but she didn't want to have to do the scene like making out with Kevin Spacey and being naked because at the time she was like 15 when they asked her to do the movie.
She wouldn't have been able to be naked at 15, though.
Well, Thora Birch, his daughter, was only 17 and she was naked.
Really? That's how I thought
they had to get her parents like written permission to do the scene, and her parents had to be on set watching to make sure nothing happened.
That's even creepier.
Yeah.
The movie's already kind of creepy in the sense of, I think we talked about it last week a little bit as far as I can't believe they made a movie like that and it got so many awards for it. Because now that would not fly, I don't think.
It won 5 Oscars, 5 Academy Awards.
No.
At the 72nd Academy Awards, it won awards for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Cinematography, and Kevin Spacey won Best Actor.
Oh, he was great, man.
And it's like one of the, it's like, Will, you know what Kevin Spacey is? Kevin Spacey is Chris Benoit. Like, how do you watch Chris Benoit match and not associate the fact that he murdered his family?
That's a tough one, dude.
It's hard to watch a Kevin Spacey movie and not think it's like trying to go back and watch The Cosby Show now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you associate what happened with? I think that's how I can still enjoy the movie because I disassociate Kevin Spacey and what he did. But
well, you kind of have. It is a really good movie. It's just that in that context, if you really think, you actually sit there thinking about it, going, "Wow, that's like, I don't know." It shouldn't be allowed at all.
Yeah.
It's a hard. I mean, it's a touchy thing, I know. I don't know how old the girl was supposed to be in the movie. What, 17 or something like that?
I would guess she was in high school still. She had to be at least 16, I would say, because she was driving.
Yeah, 16 or 17. I mean, it's just so borderline, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, kind of fucked up.
I mean, they could have portrayed her as 18, but I don't know that they did necessarily.
Did they specifically say their ages?
They didn't say their ages, I don't think.
But I figure they're like seniors in high school, maybe. So they're like 17, 18, around that age. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I know this was 99, so this is right around the same time Mina Savarve did a completely different role, if you remember. This is around when she did American Pie, and she was the choir girl, church girl. Like, completely opposite to what she is in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we also had another American Pie alum. I just realized this for the first time ever, and I've seen this movie dozens of times. When Carolyn's showing the house off, the open house, the first couple that walks in is an Asian couple, and John Cho is the guy.
Who is that?
It's Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
He's the milk in the American Pie movies, the one that's always trying to encourage, Shipbreak to bang Stifler's mom. Most recently, he was in The Grudge as well, the new one. He was in Sleepy Hollow. He was on the Exorcist TV show.
Wait, there was an Exorcist TV show?
There was. I think it even lasted like 3 seasons.
How did I not know about that? Was it any good?
I watched a couple episodes of the first season, I want to say, and then I just stopped watching. But it wasn't necessarily bad. It just wasn't anything special either at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
But, Will, when did you first discover this movie? Do you remember what your first thoughts were, impressions?
I would say I probably saw this movie around 2005, around that time. I mean, at the time, I didn't really care for it. As I mentioned to you earlier, watching it again, I realized there were things about the movie that I really did enjoy.
Do you think as you get older, you
I agree more.
Lesser more?
I definitely agreed more with Kevin Spacey's character on this one.
I think it's something that I feel every time I watch it as I get older. Like, the older you get, he's just an average guy who's miserable in life, and he's just wants to find something different.
I will tell you this, I was not up for the whole him trying to bang a high schooler, but okay.
But in the end, he didn't do it because he felt bad, and he didn't want to do that to her. He very well could have, but he didn't do it.
Yeah, but if she had sex, then he would have done it.
If she hadn't have said, like, oh, this is my first time or whatever,
yeah,
probably would have went through with it.
Probably, but I think because then he would have thought she's done this before. He's not, she's not really innocent.
Well, because she's told.
She tells everybody
before that she's had.
Yeah, she acts like a complete hoe. She tells all these people stories, like the model guy. She's like, he's a really famous photographer.
Because she's one of those women that has to have everything about her. That's all.
You know what I was thinking?
Hey, well, go ahead. What were you saying about sex and high schoolers? You're talking about how you like banging high schoolers. Ready? Go.
There we go. Wow. Okay, so if you would have had sex with her, would he have still died? Would that have changed this dude's father walking in on him, shooting him in the back of the head?
I don't know. I mean, maybe not, because then he wouldn't have thought he was gay.
Or he would just be waiting outside, waiting for the perfect opportunity, which is probably close to what he may have been doing. Because how did he know he's just sitting at the kitchen table?
But I think he did it because he thought he was gay with his son.
But then the wife would have came home too, because the wife came home not too long after that.
Well,
I think
she was already cheating.
I think it wasn't only about what he thought he saw between him and Ricky. I think it was also about how he went over there and kissed him, and he was turned down and had to walk away.
Yeah. It was more
clearly hiding for a long time.
Yeah, he didn't want to know anybody to know that.
Maybe
if he hadn't kissed him and he hadn't been turned down, do you think he would have still shot him?
I don't think so. I think he.
You know, like
what if
Kevin Spacey?
What if Kevin Spacey's character would have bent him over and just fucked him? Would he still kill him then? No.
Probably. I bet you he would because he wouldn't want his secret out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was all that was.
Well, damn.
He wouldn't have died if he didn't see him. Looks like blowing his son. His son said, "I'm the best cocksucker in 3 states."
That's pretty impressive title. I don't
think any of us would have had the balls to say it to our parents, though. You should see me fuck. I'm the best cocksucker in 3 states. I give him props for his courage. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Especially when his dad already beats him.
Yeah, well, he was sick of his bullshit.
You know what kind of pissed me off about before those scenes? When his wife was sitting in the car and she's like, "I'm not going to be a victim." Bitch, you're a victim to what?
Yeah.
She cheated on him.
Yeah, that's true. And
the aggressor in the situation.
She cheated on him. He knew she cheated on him. He had the chance to cheat on her. Still didn't do it.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, why is she like the victim?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't understand all of it because remember the fight scene too when he was masturbating in the bed, and she's screaming at him.
They said that,
and she threatened to divorce him, and he said, "Go ahead, because I believe I'm entitled to half of what you have."
Because
or whatever.
He hasn't mistreated her. Right?
I think part of it was just her knowing that she's not going to get her way in the situation.
Yep.
Yeah. And let the poor guy masturbate. Seriously.
Yeah. If you're not going to bang him, let him jack off.
At least lend him a helping hand.
Well, that's true too.
He's supportive.
Sometimes as men will tell him, you just gotta release the seal before we snap somebody's fucking neck. Yeah.
Hey, look, I totally agreed with the whole when he was taking the shower, he was like masturbating in the shower. That's the highlight of my day, and it goes downhill from there. I'm like, I fucking understand.
Right before we started recording, I said I'm gonna hop in the shower. Will said, "Don't jack off in there." He said it goes all downhill from there if you do.
You know what's funny? When I sent you that, I was actually in the shower finishing watching the movie.
Oh, God. I was about to say he was jacking off.
I know.
I let him
I was actually in the shower and I was jacking off. That's why he didn't want me to jack off at the same time. He didn't want to sync it up. He didn't want to...
It would have been weird. It would have been weird.
Is it less weird if we
felt something? It's not gay if you go back to back.
Yeah, right. Because then you don't have to look each other in the eyes.
Of course. Plus, I'm making sure no one tries to butt fuck you. You're making sure no one's trying to butt fuck me. Okay, it's a partnership. Yeah.
You think the blind guys jack off back to back?
I assume for safety reasons.
Like they sit with their feet against the door because they don't want anybody walking in. They don't know. They can't see if somebody walks in. You can just watch them jack off. They wouldn't know.
If you were blind, I think you wouldn't really give a shit. No.
Oh. I'd have to move the bed in front of the door just so nobody can come in. Yeah. Sarah's like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Just put bells everywhere. Just put bells.
Shame. She's like, we got one question in, and not all of us even answered it. What the hell? Now we're talking about blind guys jacking off.
I got nothing to say.
Sarah, do you remember the first time you saw a blind guy jacking off? Your first thoughts, impressions?
Well, I've never seen that. Sorry to say.
About the first time you saw the movie?
I was doing the math, and I'm like, I think I didn't see it in the movie theaters. I had just had my boys actually in the same year that it happened, that it came out. So it must have been as soon as it went out on the DVD. Because I remember me and my friends all talking about it and having to watch it and everything, and they were obsessed with it. All of the people I hung out with back then, they were obsessed with that movie too. So. I had to have been at least, I was probably about 18 years old 19 years old.
I think I first saw it around 13 or 14, and it was definitely on DVD or home video because I wasn't old enough to get into the
Yeah,
theaters.
you weren't allowed to go to
Which
a
is weird. They
rated
would let me in to watch horror movies, but not adult drama. I don't get it. Anyway. But
I don't know. At 13, 14, I'm kind of surprised you even like understood everything that was going on.
oh yeah, I'm very enlightened. I help blind guys jack off. I know what I'm doing. I'm a people person.
Of course.
He came out the womb with the beard.
True.
I could see that actually.
At like 13 years old, I was able to just walk in a bar and sit down and order a drink.
I actually can see Ranky with a beard permanently forever. Like that's it. I can't picture him without one.
I can tell you when you can see me without. If I'm dead, no.
Yeah, that's true.
They can take it from my cold, dead hands.
It's a weird place to put your beard, but okay.
Unless me and Will are sitting back to back, then they probably shouldn't get close. We might start shooting.
That's the whole point. I got your back, bro. I got your back, bro.
It's gonna be a massacre in here. There's bullets flying everywhere.
Bullets, semen, stuff.
It's gonna be on Will's OnlyFans. Tomahawk Toro OnlyFans. Look it up.
Wow.
He's got it on there. Hey, listen, there's some weird porn out there. People would buy that.
There's a lot of weird porno out there.
All right. I saw this porno one time. All right, hear me out. This is gonna get weird. It was a Japanese guy, and he's on a train, and he finds a stopwatch. And when he hits the stopwatch, it freezes time and space and everybody.
Is this a movie or this is a porno?
This is Japanese porno.
Well, that's just weird.
And like puts them in sexual positions, and then like unfreezes time, and everybody's like, "What the? How'd I get this dick in my face? What's going on?" And everybody just comes to, and like people are banging, and like people are naked, and he's just like, oh, giggling.
Actually, assault
sounds like
people that day.
Doesn't it?
This sounds not like porn, but like a crime.
Well, you can find it on Pornhub. I'm just saying. I didn't film it. I didn't make it. To tell you the truth, I heard about it. I heard about it on another podcast. I wasn't looking up weird porno. I heard about it on a podcast. Clarify. It was on Two Bears, One Cave. I wasn't just watching porno. But I had to look it up when I heard this. Yeah. For science.
Well,
I am
curious though.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. How are you going to go from like you freeze in time and then you wake up and there's just somebody blowing you? You're like, how would you not freak out?
He does this at random place. He goes into like a sandwich shop and does it there too.
How?
But there's no actual sex because the minute he unfreezes everybody and they realize what's going on, they get dressed. So it's like the weirdest porno that you don't see.
That's weird. Okay, so it's not like they just like, oh, well, I might as well. I'm in the position.
No. They all get like embarrassed. They're like, oh my god, what's going on? Why is there skin on my face? I'm like,
what the?
It's just the weirdest thing ever.
Oh my god, I really have to watch this. I have to see.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm intrigued. I might have to watch it.
It's like try to like Google like Japanese stop motion train porn. I think it was or something like that.
Did you say stop motion?
Yeah, I think that's what they called it.
Stop motion train porn.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And of course, it's pixelated, so you don't have to worry about seeing anything. Yeah. It's Japanese. They pixelate everything. But speaking of, Emily, do you remember the first time you saw American Beauty was?
Probably like last year was the first time I saw it.
What were your first thoughts when you saw your impressions of the movie?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was. So many of these characters have sad stories.
Yeah.
But it's still a really great film, even though one of the actors did some horrible things.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I'm not saying he didn't do them. I'm just saying.
Then tried to justify it.
I'm just saying he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. That's all.
That's fair.
He's been accused, but not convicted. And sadly, that's all it takes in America these days.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Hey, I was a big fan of The Ranch on Netflix. And they accused Danny Masterson, and there went, that. Kevin Spacey got kicked off House of Cards.
Marilyn Manson on Creep Show.
Marilyn Manson got kicked
Not
off
even
Creep
gonna
Show.
air it.
Who's that girl that got kicked off of Star Wars that you watched, Phil? Gina something?
Yeah, Gina Capriaro or something like that.
And that wasn't even for anything like a sexual assault thing or anything. That was just like she tweet something that they didn't like or something like that years ago.
She tweeted something about how like America is like Nazi Germany.
Yeah, it was like a Holocaust joke. I remember or something like that.
Yeah,
Mike is saying it's Disney. That's why she got kicked off.
But it was here, and doesn't Pedro Pascal have some bad stuff in the background? There?
You have no career in Disney at all if there's anything in your closet.
Okay.
Well, that's not true. Disney was the biggest like Nazi proprietor ever, I think.
Yeah. That was back in the time, different time.
See how many weird pedophile symbols are in Disney movies all the time, like still to this day.
But when it comes to the Disney name, though, like I mean, even like the employees and stuff have to be on their best behavior at all times.
We lived in Florida where the park was. You can't work there if you have like facial hair. You can't work there if you have.
Like they really are
nursing.
They're really changed about it.
They physically like.
I think they allow a certain type of hair color too.
Yeah, your hair color. That's another thing. Had to be natural colors only. I think it said.
I mean, they're slowly easing up on that, but it's still taking them too long.
But even some jobs I've had have always said only natural hair color. They didn't nothing crazy. Like there's not anymore or as much. But where I last worked, they were kind of like strict. They didn't really want to hire people with tattoos, and one of these store managers got in trouble for not hiring because the girl had a tattoo. It wasn't anything crazy, wasn't probably even that visible, but she had a tattoo, and he saw it during the interview, and he refused to hire her because of it. Well, because of the type of company it was.
Speaking of jobs, is it me or does Lester quit his job the best way anybody has ever quit their job?
Oh my God. I think we all dream to do something like that.
Now, I've quit my job before in some funny ways, but I never blackmailed the boss.
Yeah, I mean...
I did throw a chair at me and Will's boss.
Just to be... I've never even done anything
by 8 cops out of there, like...
I wish sometimes I would have cursed people out after quitting or getting
fired. The day Will was fired at our first job, I walked in and quit.
Didn't you throw a table at one?
Oh, come on. Just because you throw one table and one chair.
It's like it's tearing up housewares already.
They walked out. Will walked out of the office and said he was fired. I said, hold on, don't go anywhere. I walked in and was like, hey, I quit. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you fired Will, so I'm out of here. I'll see you later. And they're like, what? Can we talk about it? No, I got to go.
Yeah, I'm shocked, man. You shouldn't have done that.
I can tell you from later experience, Will definitely did not have that same solidarity.
Hey, I still got to.
He's like, here's the car keys. I'll see you at home.
Hey, it could have been worse. I could have not given you the car keys.
That's true, I guess. But I had to come back that same night and pick Will up. They were asking Will in the office, like, is Randy going to come shoot us up and kill us?
The only reason I couldn't quit on you because I did not want to keep working at Discovery Cove. Okay, fuck that place. Now, if you worked at Discovery Cove and you quit, I would have been gone. Fuck that place. But the theater was actually pretty full.
That's okay. I still got to come back and get free shit all the time. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we're on question 2. Sarah's like, Jesus Christ.
I can't believe it's only question 2.
Wow. Who was your favorite character in the movie?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely Kevin Spacey's character.
Lester?
Yeah. The boyfriend was kind of like a freak, but I don't know, he was kind of like the cool freak. I don't know why. I'm attracted to that type of person. But yeah, no, Kevin Spacey overall is my favorite.
Well, what about you? Who was your favorite character in the movie?
I'm about to agree with Sarah on that one. Was Lester because everyone else just seemed like pieces of shit. His daughter, like, no fucking emotion. Like when she was cheerleading, like, really, bitch? Like, why are you cheerleading at that point?
Maybe she didn't want to do it.
So why the fuck was she doing it?
I don't know.
That shit got me upset. Like, that really did.
Will said,
That shit really got me upset.
Be sexier. This is ridiculous.
Emily, daughter was just like teenage bitch.
What were you about to say?
Maybe it was the issues in her home life that made her not enthusiastic.
It could
Probably
be.
didn't help seeing her dad gawking at her friend during the same cheerleading routine that she was a part of.
She just didn't seem like the kind of person to do cheerleading, and it just bothered me.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't seem like a cheerleader type.
Yeah, that's what really bothered me.
But maybe that's just us, I don't know, being unfair. And...
Like, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Like,
well, I don't think things are that easy. I mean, Ricky Fitz wanted to smoke pot. He couldn't.
yeah?
His dad wouldn't let him.
I felt bad for his mom.
Yeah, that's Allison Janney, who looks better now than she looked in 1999. Like, she looks older there than she does now. If you see her on, like, Mom or a movie or something like that, she's on that TV show, Mom.
Yeah.
She looks younger there than she did in this movie. And this was 22 years ago, 23 years ago. Emily, do you have a favorite character in the movie at all?
Probably either Lester or Ricky.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the streak going. Lester was my favorite character, too, and I think I resonate more and more with him as I get older.
Yeah, the course of the movie, you can just see him get more and more fed up with people's bullshit, and he just refuses to take it. And I wish I could be that way. I wish I could fucking talk to people like that.
Yeah, I wish I could quit my job and you come home and see a 1970 red Pontiac Firebird in the driveway. Yeah, I rule. The car I wanted, now I have. I rule. The man's buying $2,000 little tiny bags of weed.
Yeah, what the fuck was up with that? It's very expensive.
Or,
I've never heard of anything like that, but who knows?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Out there.
Like,
that was way too much money.
I'm sorry, but I would have paid $2,000 for the big bag.
And,
I would have paid $2,000.
If anybody would like to sponsor us, feel free to hit us up. Yeah, we'll try and review your weed products here on the air live. Some of us will. Some of us will.
Hey! I don't smoke it, but I'm willing to do it for a sponsorship.
There you go. He doesn't smoke it, but I've seen him eat it.
I'll smoke it.
Just eat it.
I'm in that whole fucking kind of attitude now. So.
That's because you got your balls back. We learned last week, remember? You said they were first on top of the fridge, and you got them back.
I finally made it to the top of the fridge.
Were they locked in like a cookie jar on top of the fridge?
No. They're just in that vacuum sealed like container.
At
least they were fresh when I got them out. No.
Will, after you found your nuts in the cookie jar, did you have a favorite scene in the movie at all? Was it the masturbation? Was it the cheerleaders? Boobs? What was it?
Terrible. I'm not gonna lie, that moment when Lester was sitting there on the couch, he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I rule.
Yeah.
When he was talking seductively to his wife, and she was like, "You're gonna spill beer on the couch," I was like, "Yo, fuck that bitch."
It's just a couch.
A $4,000 couch better not spill no goddamn beer on it.
I was like, "Yo, they're gonna make up," and I was like, "Get the fuck out! Get the fuck
out!" I
think
that scene showed that he still loved his wife, and he wanted his wife.
She was the last thought in his head. He definitely loved his wife.
He was trying. Felt like,
but
I don't think it was a problem with her. I think he just wanted other things in his life to change, his job, and
yeah.
I don't think he didn't want her. I think he just didn't like himself. Maybe I don't.
No, I don't think he liked what she became.
Yeah.
He
That's
was more
it.
Like even when he says about
on
her
himself.
her apron matching her dress or shears or something, her shoes matching her shears.
Yeah,
That's not an accident, he said.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Sarah, did you have a favorite scene?
I'm thinking. Hold on. Favorite scene. I think him getting fired scene was great. Um, I don't know. Like a lot of the scenes, if you think about it, were pretty creepy.
It's only if you put it in context.
Like you got a guy stalking this girl, doing video. I liked when he was
She'd be
smoking
really
with the
happy
other
about
guy
it.
catering.
She was just happy that
Um,
someone was paying attention to her as a person.
I guess.
yeah, no, that made her happy just for
Her
that.
dad weren't talking.
It's just not the kind of typical reaction you'd have if you found the guy outside your window burning your name and stuff and filming dead birds.
It's a little weird. Oh, and the bag in the wind.
That was based on a real thing that happened.
I know, but
Went to the actor in real life, they said.
every time I see that scene, I think of Family Guy. Peter's like, it's just fucking trash. It's just some fucking trash in the wind.
It's not trash. It's beautiful. Beautiful, I guess. Emily, did you have a favorite scene in the movie?
There's so many amazing scenes in this movie. One of my favorite parts is that monologue at the end, and that's because earlier on in the movie, during that trash bag scene, when Ricky is talking about how there's so much beauty and sometimes he feels like his heart is gonna cave in. At the very end, Lester says, sometimes there's so much beauty, I feel like my heart's going to swell up like a balloon and burst. And they're basically saying the same thing. And it's just...
I think one of my favorite scenes is, like Will said, the red Pontiac Firebird.
Yeah.
I want to know how he ran over her feet, too, without looking. He had the remote control car. He turned it around perfectly and nailed her feet.
I will say this, though. I did enjoy seeing the smile on his face, even though he was dead. He lived a good life at that point.
Yeah.
He was happy.
He died looking at the picture of his
He
family.
died looking at the picture of his family. That's what I'm saying. He didn't not love his family. He just wanted his life to be different. Yeah. He wasn't happy with himself, I think. I don't think he was necessarily unhappy with his family.
Yeah, because in the very beginning,
Goes to show you that's what happened.
Like, when did I get this sedated?
Yeah. There's so many good quotes in the movie, and such a good soundtrack, too.
I feel that sometimes, man. I feel like your life is fucking sedated.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think as we get older, we identify more with Lester Will. Will pulls up to our house next time in a red Firebird. I'm getting one.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get matching.
You don't have that kind of money to get one.
Yeah, it's a lot less expensive here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you got that raise.
In Florida, it's a lot less expensive, too.
Okay, you're almost there.
Will can get one in Florida. I can get one here. Yeah. They're cheaper.
I live in New York, so I'm screwed either way.
We'll take them down to the drive-in, Will, that's opening up this week again, so we're good. We'll drive on down.
Okay, well, I got to find a lady to occupy my passenger seat, though.
I can't help you with that.
Find me a Midwest wife. No,
do you want this one to be legal or illegal?
Hey, I'm give or take.
Okay. I wasn't talking about citizenship. I know you like them young.
Oh my god.
Oh, not like that.
He relates very well to Kevin Spacey.
He's got the stop motion watch, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, that's not what I'd be doing with that.
Hey, Robin Banks.
Oh yeah,
I'm Robin Banks. I'm stealing money. Stealing $4,000 sofas upholstered in Italian silk. That's what I'm gonna do. Will, did you have any other favorite scenes in the movie or favorite characters or?
That scene where his wife and that two they pulled up to the drive-thru.
Smile, you're at Mr. Smiley's.
I love that the manager walked away and just Let them have their privacy.
That the manager was that. She looked familiar. What was she in?
She's in Curb Your Enthusiasm. She fights with Larry David in the hallway when he's running into his doctor's office.
I don't think that's where I know her from because I don't really watch that show.
Sarah's got to go. We're going to keep this train rolling. And Sarah, thank you for joining us while you can.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Speak, Sarah, for Knives Out.
Okay, I will be prepared.
All right, Sarah, we'll see you then.
All right, bye.
Bye. Emily, did you have any other favorite characters or scenes you enjoyed?
I mean, this movie just had so much going on.
It did.
I feel like, even though it was really about Lester, there was also a big part of the movie was also about his daughter. And man, I would just really love to see that alternate ending.
Yeah, Will, did you hear about the alternate ending? The original ending?
I don't know.
So in the movie, you know how she's talking on the camera and she says, "Will you kill my dad?"
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll do it if you want me to, or something like that.
Is that who she was talking about?
Yeah, she said, "Would you kill my dad?" And he said, "I can do it for you," or something. They have this on video, right? So then, if you remember, he shows up and Angela's in the room, and he says, "If I had to leave town tonight, will you come with me? I have to leave. I have to get out of this town." Yeah. So you have all those circumstantial evidence, we'll call it. Yeah. The original ending that they actually shot and filmed and showed people in test audiences, they get arrested for Lester's murder and put on trial, and they get sent to prison.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the girl and the boyfriend. Because you have Angela saying they're trying to run away, they're trying to get out of town fast, they have to leave now. So it makes it look like they're on the run. You have him on video saying he'll kill them.
Well, damn.
That was the original ending. They shot it and they actually showed it to people. Like they tested it with audiences, and they have an entire courtroom trial and everything. It was a much longer movie originally, and they had the entire trial and they get sent to prison.
Holy crap! I would have seen that. I don't like the way it. I wouldn't have liked it if it ended that way.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
I wouldn't have liked it either if that's the ending they would have originally stuck with. Yeah. But since they shot it, I would still like to see it.
I would like to see it now.
Now that I know they shot that.
Like an anniversary edition or something, or director's cut.
I don't know. I would have liked to see the boyfriend and the daughter make it to New York and actually set themselves up.
Well, they didn't. They got sent to prison in that movie. Yeah. I guess they had to cut it because audiences were like, no. They said they cut it because it became less about Lester and more about them. And I guess in a way, this was really his story. Yeah, I think it was shot beautifully. I think the music fit well. The music they used, but not only that, the music they produced. I guess some might... Go ahead, Will. What was that?
I was thinking about how Lester's wife was fucking the other real estate guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I love nailing the king," and I was like, "Come on."
Yeah, you get nailed by the king.
I was like, "Yo, dude." I don't get it. Do people really say shit like that when they're having sex?
I don't know. It should have been like a dwarf dressed up in full-on garb, and he's like, "Dry my royal balls, pat them, they're sweaty."
Okay, it would have been more fun if he played into the whole king role, but okay.
That's what I'm saying. He could have somebody there feeding him grapes while he's banging her. Yeah.
Okay, that's just elegant. Okay. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Emily, what were your overall thoughts on the movie and the ending? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
It was, even though it was very sad, I think it was a good ending. It was, I think that final shot where even though he's dead, he still has that smile on his face from seeing that picture of his family and remembering the good times they had.
Yeah, I think it sucked that he finally was just happy and content.
Yeah.
That's what it made it seem like he's finally happy, and then it's like, oh, that's life. You're happy? We're just gonna kill you now.
Well, it's just a guy going through like his midlife crisis.
Yeah, and I think that's why as I get older, I can relate to it more and more. I want to go into my job and be like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
One of the things I wonder about when I was watching this movie is if he had never gone to that basketball game and saw that cheerleading routine and seen Angela, would his midlife crisis even have really happened the way it did? Would he have had the courage to take control of his life?
I don't know.
Because the only reason he even started lifting weights was because he overheard their conversation and her saying, oh, he would look hot if he worked out. And then he started lifting weights that second.
I think it still would have happened because she did go over to the house. I don't think she had. If he wouldn't have gone to the basketball game, I think he still would have seen it anyway. Like,
yeah, but I think it was the dance, it was the routine, it was the eye contact.
Wait, so did he not meet her before that?
I don't think so. No,
that was the impression they gave.
Because at the end of the game, remember, they're introduced at the end of the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, if his daughter brings her home anyway as a friend,
it still would have happened just because of her being in it.
Still, regardless.
I guess so. She was still a part of his life in some way. It could have still happened, I guess. What did you think overall in the movie, Will? The ending? Did you like it? Would you recommend the movie? Would you watch it again?
I enjoyed it. I really did. I didn't think I was after seeing it this long again, but I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it. It's a little slow at first, but I mean, it's definitely worth the watch.
Emily, would you recommend the movie? Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I'd probably watch it again. It's very easy to relate to. It's sometimes.
Yeah. I love the movie. I love the ending. I would like to see the alternate ending just because it's already been shot. I don't think we'll ever get another release of this movie in a big way, though, because of Kevin Spacey and everything going on. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever get like a good release with a bunch of features like the ending and stuff and deleted scenes. I don't think we'll ever see that now. Even the basic Blu-ray that came out years ago was just before they were really popular in the late 90s and early 2000s, and then they started putting them on Blu-ray, and then so it's like a bare bones kind of release. I love the movie. I would recommend watching it. I highly recommend watching it. It's my favorite movie of all time by far, hands down. More and more so every time I watch it. It's got so many good scenes too, and it's got a lot of improvised stuff apparently. Like when Kevin Spacey was singing "American Woman" in the car, they said that was all improvised. He wasn't supposed to be singing or anything. The scene when he was jacking off in bed, that was all improvised, and it kept making Annette Bening laugh. She couldn't keep a straight face because he's talking about, I'm saying hi to my monster. Every time he started listing different ways to talk about masturbating, she would just start cracking up, and they couldn't keep redoing the scene.
You think his life would have changed if his wife was a little better toward him?
Probably.
I don't want to say she was a catalyst to all that, but I mean, it's not like she helped.
She could have been a little kinder to him.
Yeah. I think he would have been still the same guy, but in a way, maybe because they lost that connection is what made him get that. I mean, even later on when he's talking about her and they're showing the flashback to her in the Tilt-A-Whirl, it looked like. He was talking about, how beautiful she was and how he loved her and all this stuff.
Huh.
I think he just liked that they grew apart. I don't know.
Unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he just felt disconnected from his own life because they were talking about how, he barely spoke to his daughter in months. Him and his wife weren't in the best place. He hated his job. I think he just hated his life and he just wanted something to change.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that at times. Not being 100% happy with something in your life and you want it to change. I thought it was funny when they were in the party, or the real estate party or something. He said, "Do you party?" What? Do you get high? And just that big smile. Oh, yeah. When they get caught smoking pot, he just looks at Ricky and goes, I'm in trouble. She's mad.
Yeah, I think it was funny that Ricky went up to his brand new neighbor, the father of the girl that he had an interest in, and he asked him, do you do drugs? You want to do some drugs with me? I can give you drugs if you need them.
But depending on the dad, that would be good.
Yeah.
I would love that. I mean, I probably wouldn't love it as much if it was my daughter, but I don't have a daughter. You know, so if my son's girl came over and she was like, hey, you want some weed? And I'm like, you need to marry this girl. This is great. She just fronted me $2,000 worth of weed.
Best weed ever.
And if you remember when he was telling the story about his summer job when he was a kid, he said, all I did was party and get laid. It was the best summer of my life or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Ricky was like, I'm sorry. He's like, no.
No, it was I loved it. He's like, I loved it. Don't say sorry.
Oh, man.
It's one of his many good quotes. The new me whacks off when I'm horny. Like, this is... or when he's jogging with the guys, he says, I just want to look good naked.
I mean, don't we all? Don't we all?
When he writes the essay about why he should keep his job, talks about retreating to the bathroom to jack off. Like,
that was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie to you. If my job ever asked me to write an essay why I should leave, why I should stay, I would have already fucking left.
Yeah, I'd probably just walk out. I'm like, hold on, let me see if Will's got the keys still. Hold on, let me get out of here.
I got you.
He said, I'm just an ordinary guy with nothing to lose. I'm looking for the least amount of responsibility possible. Like, all his lines were.
It was good. It was good. I'll give it that.
On another side note, man, he really wanted that fucking asparagus.
Well, no one would pass it to him.
So someone please pass me that fucking asparagus, and nobody's.
I just love that he slowly, waited for Carolyn to finish and then slammed the plate against the wall.
No, that was because she interrupted him.
Yeah, but he waited for her to finish yelling, and then he just threw the fucking plate.
Don't interrupt me again, honey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Don't throw asparagus at the wall. I've never eaten asparagus, so I don't know if it's good or not. I might throw it at the wall if I ever taste it.
I've had asparagus once.
Asparagus?
Yeah, I don't eat asparagus. What do you think? I'm going to eat healthy greens? What?
No, usually when you go to a nice steak place, you order a steak, it usually comes with asparagus.
Yeah, and I'll tell them to get that shit off my plate, and if you're going to bring me some green stuff, put broccoli on there. What the fuck?
No, the asparagus is actually pretty good. I mean, you eat fucking Brussels sprouts. Get the fuck out of here.
Because they're good.
You eat Brussels sprouts, but you won't eat asparagus?
Well, I don't...
Hold on, you eat Brussels sprouts, but you don't like peas?
Peas are disgusting.
Yeah, but so are Brussels sprouts.
Listen, I remember being a kid and having like an aunt who's like, you can't get up from this table until you eat your peas. So I put mustard on them, trying to cover up the taste, and I just remember vomiting it profusely.
I just don't get it. Peas are delicious.
They are not delicious. If they're in a stew, I'll eat them. If they're in a soup or like a fried rice, you know. Now here's the thing: I hate peas, but I love split pea soup. I know it's fucking stupid.
Well, I don't like tomatoes, but give me a grilled cheese with some tomato soup.
See, it's not just me. I hate peas, but I like pea soup. She hates tomatoes, but she likes tomato soup.
Wait. So do you hate tomatoes like the actual vegetable, not things that are tomato flavored?
Yeah, that's it. I can deal with ketchup. I just don't like actual tomatoes.
So
I don't
weird.
even like certain marinara sauce if there's chunks of tomatoes in it.
That's true. She won't eat it.
I get that shit out of my face. Tomatoes? What do I look like?
What do I look like? A fucking Italian? Get that out of here.
I mean, I am, but
I just keep picturing those times where me and Randy, we'd make those badass salads. We cut the little tomatoes and shit.
That's right. You make a salad, you were right. He was running around with his Walkman too.
Oh yeah.
Those days, you'd be on a bicycle. You try to have the Walkman, and I remember even worse is I don't know why we thought Discmen were good ideas. Like, those CDs skipped every time you moved an inch.
No, we didn't.
I had one when I was a kid, and I can say from experience, it did in fact skip.
Yeah. If you tried to do anything while wearing the Discman, it just ruined it.
I freaking had one while riding a mountain bike to school. I did not have issues with it.
I don't know. I know for me,
lucky you who got the indestructible Discman.
Yeah.
Class.
Off.
Not all of us are as lucky as Will.
Yeah, Will.
Hey, it was made in Florida, okay? No.
What? Why did, if Carolyn decided to cheat, and Buddy was cheating too, why did they cheat in the town they live in? Like, they went to the motel, they lived in that town. They went to the restaurant, they lived in that town. Don't you go 2 or 3, like, I've never been the cheating kind of guy, but if you're going to do it with somebody who lives in the same town as you, don't you go a couple towns over?
And the fact that she didn't think to not go to her husband's place of work.
She didn't know where he worked.
But that's the thing, she didn't even know where her husband worked.
But wouldn't she have seen his car?
Right.
Something.
It seems like they wanted to get caught, or they were just that stupid.
Or they just literally just didn't give a shit.
No, she did. She didn't want to get caught. She wasn't expecting that. Not expecting to be caught.
She was more upset about Buddy breaking things off with her than she was about Lester finding out.
Yeah. I just think overall it's a beautifully shot movie. Even the scene where it's just Carolyn outside the house looking at the red door that's all lit up and the pouring rain and the music, and the scene where Kevin Spacey is just sitting on the couch with Angela, the music and the rain in the background, and the lighting, everything. It's shot beautifully. It's put together beautifully. It's hands down my favorite movie of all time.
It's a good movie.
Love this movie. I can't recommend it more. If you haven't seen it, you don't know what you're missing. You need to go watch it. That's all I have for this movie. I don't know if you guys have anything else, Emily.
I think we pretty much summed it up.
Will, you got anything else about American Beauty?
No, I think we pretty much covered it all.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Sarah had to dip out early. You can find us on social media, Midnight Evil Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google, Spotify, Anchor. We're working on some bonus stuff here and there when we can get to it. We got 4 different people with 4 different schedules, so we're going to get it out at some point. Next week for Taking You Back podcast. So it's a staff pick. It's an Emily pick. We're going to be covering Knives Out next week on the Taking You Back podcast. I'm looking forward to it. It was good. I've only seen it once before, I think, but it was good, and I liked the cast. And talking all things Knives Out.
Like little bits and pieces.
Will, you haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, the only time I ever got to see it was when I was on break, and I only watched 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's good. I think you'll like it. I think it's pretty good. I think they're going to do a sequel or a spinoff of something at some point, probably, because it made a lot of money.
Wait,
I could see them doing a spinoff, maybe. I don't know.
I think it would be the cop,
with,
Daniel Craig.
Cast members.
I think it would be different cast, but with Daniel Craig trying to solve another case.
Okay, I could definitely see that.
I think it would be the cop, but it would be the same style and just different characters. That's what we're going to talk about next week. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Give us a follow, give us a like, tell your friends, share it. Hang in there, stick around, and we'll see you next week for Knives Out on the Taking You Back podcast. Thank you.